Gals.
This is a Fox News alert. Is China blinking first on trade? We are just getting this in from a conference in Shanghai where China's President Xi Jinping is promising to lower tariffs on products including cars. Now, the speech is being reported as an effort to strike a conciliatory tone amid rising trade tensions between the U.S. and China. Stock futures already like it, soaring. The Dow up, for example, 252 points at this hour. The futures there. Well, revisiting our top story tonight, the president responding to FBI agents raiding the office, home, and hotel room of his personal attorney, Michael Cohen. Mr. Trump calling the raid a disgrace and calling Mueller's investigation an attack on our country. Let's bring in tonight's panel for reaction. Philippe Reines, former senior advisor to Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Charlie Hurt, Fox News contributor and opinion editor for the Washington Times. And Saagar Enjeti, the White House correspondent for the Daily Caller. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks.
Quick roundup down the line. What do you make of what we're hearing out of China tonight? Then we'll get to the main topic.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very interesting, given that, just days ago, the Chinese were saying that there was absolutely no room for negotiations, that these tariffs were going to go into place, and that there was no channels of communication between the White House and the Chinese. Now, just a couple days later, President Xi seems to be backing down on this. So you're going to see Larry Kudlow and the president very, very happy tomorrow.
Maybe happy dance tomorrow, Charlie.
Yeah. We've been losing the trade battle with China for a very, very long time. And politicians in both parties have kind of done the same thing, which is really basically nothing. So, maybe trying something different and hoping for a different result maybe works.
Philippe, the White House could use some good news tonight.
They sure can if they think that's it. Okay.
Well, anything that would make the markets move in a positive territory. It seems like for the president that would be a positive thing. Okay, so let's get to the story at hand. These raids on Michael Cohen today. Now, our understanding is that this came from the special counsel. He then, according to the statutory framework, as I understand it, he would have had to talk to Rod Rosenstein, who is overseeing this thing. They referred it to the local U.S. attorney's office there, and then the raids. So this is what Cohen's lawyer is saying tonight. In part, it was completely inappropriate and unnecessary. It resulted in the unnecessary seizure of protected attorney-client communications between a lawyer and his clients. Philippe, that's being described as a pretty extraordinary step.
I think everyone has described an extraordinary step, including the people who took it. And that's why there are such important safeguards before taking it. I think we should attach names here. What Mueller seems to have done is that he took it to a man named Jeffrey Berman, who is now the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. And he was chosen by Donald Trump, period. Let's not get into any kind of fancy who he is. He is in that job because of Donald Trump. He said, go do it. So whatever there is, and we'll find out eventually whatever it is or whatever it isn't, he deemed it proper. He deemed it necessary. So with all due respect to Mr. Cohen's attorney, when Mr. Cohen is an attorney to an attorney, there's something there. And I know that that's not what everyone wants to hear. But I think everyone should be patient and trust our law enforcement agencies to let them work through the process.
There are several steps of vetting that this has to go through, numerous within the DOJ, the U.S. Attorney's Office there as well in New York. And they would have to know, Charlie, that if we eventually see the search warrants or get more about that, it's going to be the most dissected search warrant of all time. Just behind the FISA applications if we ever get those. So they had to, as Philippe said, everything had to be in a row for them to pull this off.
Absolutely, and like Philippe says, we don't know what is in there yet. And as you say, it will be closely inspected. But it does underscore the sort of the degree to which the DOJ has lost a lot of credibility over the past year pursuing what was pretty much a farce of an investigation, and very much weaponizing these investigative tools, even going back, I would argue, before the election, but weaponizing these investigative tools for political purposes. And they've done enormous amounts of damage to themselves by doing that. And the Russia collusion, they've not produced any. There's never been any real evidence that there's Russian collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia.
And that's what we've heard from both sides of the aisle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we continue to hear. Now, tonight.
Well, that's not exactly fair.
Well, I want to make sure we get Saagar in here, too. So I want to get to this point.
As long as Saagar says that.
Something tells me you might not say the exact same thing you would
exactly
say.
The same.
Okay, so Bill Mitchell, a conservative radio host, tweeted this out. People are saying, oh, no, this thing with Mueller and Trump's attorneys is bad. I'm doing the phonetics. There's a lot of A's in there. Why? Trump is innocent. All Mueller will find out is that Trump is innocent. That's the whole point. And Saagar, I mean, the president continues to say tonight, I got nothing to worry about. I'm innocent of collusion.
Yeah, that's right. And, this is what the president, and this is what Sarah Huckabee Sanders told us a couple months ago, that when the president says witch hunt, what he means there is this consistent, fawning out of the investigation. You see now that they're going into Michael Cohen's bank records that go back several years, far beyond the campaign. Now you see this story breaking tonight about, a Ukrainian steel magnate's donations to the Trump Foundation. These are all things that are outside of the purview of the original purpose of the council in their view. And they consistently view this as a sprawling out investigation that's going to, continue to exist for the remainder of their presidency. We heard from the White House special counsel, or from the White House counsel, Ty Cobb, this was going to be wrapped up by Thanksgiving, then it was going to be wrapped up by Christmas. I mean, this thing has absolutely no end in sight, and you saw on full display what damage this is doing to the president. He was so angry, and I think that it's quite in reaction to the fact that his personal attorneys has just been raided in a matter that, by all accounts, has absolutely nothing to do with Russia and Russian collusion.
All right, we gotta, oh no, Philippe, we'll discuss during commercial. Okay, we gotta leave it there for now, but don't go anywhere because we've got more hot topics for you. It is he said, she said, former FBI Director James Comey at odds with his ex-boss, former Attorney General Loretta Lynch, over Hillary Clinton's emails. Philippe's gonna want to talk about that and what happened at that tarmac meeting with Bill Clinton. Brand new details with our panel next.